Hey, welcome to the video. This is Matt from Dream Hill Homes. We help people like yourself become owners of vacant land. Today, we're here to chat about a 5-acre property in Kern County. Now, I wanted to share, this is a rare property in the county. Most of the time, you'll see 2.5 acres in this county in Kern. That's pretty common. When you see a 5-acre or a 10-acre, grab it because they don't come up very often. It's a very large acreage. Think of it as about 5 football fields. So 5 acres would be about 5 football fields. That's about how big this property is. So plenty of room to do all sorts of stuff. I wanted to share that this is a reduced price here. I mean, normally we would mark this to about, 25, 26, but we've reduced the price. I might explain why in this video. So if you like this property, before I get into it, if you like this property, you can go ahead and reserve it with this big red reserve button here on the website. But let me tell you a little bit about this property. It's 5 acres, $53 a year. It is buildable. It is in a low flood zone, so I'll talk more about that. And there is electric right nearby. There is another neighboring property that's already built a residential property here. So this is a well-watered neighborhood. You want to install septic, but it does have power nearby. So none of the utilities are plug and play. You'd have to extend the power to the property. So this is definitely a project property. Nothing is ready to go. You'd have to, put in some effort to get it buildable, if that makes sense. So let's show some actual location of the land here. So this is around Willow Springs, Rosemont, north of Lancaster. So Lancaster's down here to the south along the 14. And if you get off at Gaskill Road, that's where our property is. So I'll just zoom in here. And right off of this main road, Gaskill Road, there are power lines running along the road. And then right here is our property to the north. Now, if you'll notice, there's a few roads here. There's 84th Street, Joyce Avenue, all these roads. I wanted to talk about access to the property first. Now, Google Maps, these satellite images are a bit older. And currently there's a solar company that owns this land to the west here. And so that is fenced off. So there's no access here through 85th Street West. So the best way to access the property would be through these other roads. And I wanted to show you on the county map to show where the roads are so you can see. Now there's actually platted roads here for 84th Street, Joyce Avenue, 83rd Street. So there are multiple ways to access the property. You'd have to talk to a surveyor. And again, this is the reason why the property is reduced in price is because this is a mini project for someone to take on. They'd actually have to get a surveyor and show that there's legal access and show that some of these roads had existed, like 85th Street and some of these other roads. You need to get permission from one of these neighbors to extend to the property from a legal standpoint. Most of the time, that's pretty straightforward. It's just a matter of talking to the surveyor or, kind of going through a mini project. So that's the reason why the property is reduced. It does take a little bit of effort to create that access legally so you can start building. So you could do that multiple ways through 83rd Street, off of Joyce Avenue. You could talk to all these landowners to see how you could access the property, potentially even along 85th Street here where the solar company owns, and they put up a fence here along the edge. This was an existing dirt trail for a long time, not a dedicated road. And so I just wanted to show you on the county's actual map, there are streets you can see that are already here and platted, meaning they exist according to the county. You just have to extend into the property. Hope that makes sense. Again, you want to call planning and talk to them for any more specific information. So here are the actual pictures from the land. This is standing at the edge of the neighboring property, reaching over the fence. So there's a fence along Gaskill Road here, and you can see the property's located about 800 feet off this property line right here. Beautiful scenery. Here's the solar company to the west. And if I scroll through some of these, you can see that's where the property is back here. And the neighboring property, they've started to build over here along Gaskill. Now, I wanted to point out that there are power lines right here at the neighboring property. And then you can see the fence in the foreground. So there are power lines about approximately 800 feet from the property line. So you can extend these out to the land. And so you're a little bit closer to getting started on building that way. So what can you do with this property? Well, it's zone residential suburban combining, meaning you can do lots of different things. You could be homesteading here. You can have some, small animals. You could do chickens and goats, things like that if you're homesteading. But you could also build a regular residential house. noted this isn't a floodplain, but what that means is it's a low floodplain, and that you'd have to build the first floor up a certain height. And so that's up to the planning department. You have to talk to them. But as you can see, there are other houses in the area, and I'll show you on the map here. There are some other residential houses in this area. So yes, you can build. There's houses right down the street here to the east along Willow Avenue and Gaskill. So there's plenty of residential building around here. Just to let you know that it is possible, but it's going to take a little effort to get that set up. Permits are good for 1 year. No camping, no RVs unless you have a permit to build. You can have an RV if you do have a permit to build. That's the way I understand it. And then mobile homes are okay if it's 10 years or newer. So if you have a generally newer mobile home, that's fine in this area. You can do Airbnbs, tiny homes, things like that. There's some more information here on that. But just to let you know, these are general rules in the county, and that's pretty much the case anywhere in the county. And yeah, that's it. So if you like this property, give us a call. Let us know if you have any questions. But again, the reason we've reduced the price on this property is because it is a mini project to get access to the land. You're going to have to talk to the neighbors and kind of talk, meet them and say, hey, we want to get access to build. We're going to improve the area. So, if that's your vision and you're looking for a property with a larger acreage, this is kind of a gem in that it's 5 acres. It's a larger acreage. It's about twice the size of the typical property in this area. So if this is for you, give us a call. Let us know if you have any questions. Again, we're not attorneys. We're not giving legal advice. But if you do have more specific questions around how to access the property, we recommend talking to a surveyor or just calling the county and talking to them about the usual process or how they handle that, contacting neighbors and getting access to the land. So yeah, I hope this makes sense. Give us a call if you have any questions. And if you want to look it up yourself and kind of do your own homework, here is the APN number right here if you want to take a look at that. And yeah, looking forward to hearing from you. Talk to you soon.